announcement. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, laws of the state of New Jersey. The Borough Clerk has prepared a schedule of the meetings of the governing body of the Borough of Kenilworth for the year 2025. The Borough Clerk has posted a true copy of the schedule on the bulletin board located at the front entrance of Borough Hall, and has mailed true copies of the schedule to the local source and the Star Ledger, and is maintaining a copy of this schedule in her office during the year 2025. Accordingly, the notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied in regard to this meeting. Please stand for the salute to the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Karlovich.
Here.
Councilman Boyle.
Here.
Councilman Finestrella.
Here.
Councilwoman Giordano Paserno.
Here.
Councilman Morrow.
Here.
Councilman Piper.
Here.
And Councilman Scurries.
Here.
All are present.
Okay, I'd like a motion to approve the minutes of March 5th, 2025.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Councilwoman Giordano Paserno and seconded by Councilman Boyle. Roll call.
Councilman Boyle.
Yes.
Councilman Finestrella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Giordano Paserno.
Yes.
Councilman Morrow.
Yes.
Councilman Piper.
Yes.
And Councilman Scurries.
Yes.
Okay, at this time, I would like to invite Chris up to present his Eagle Scout project.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
So, my name is Christopher Barwick. I'm a member of the Boy Scouts Troop 83 and a Life Scout. And for my Eagle project, I am currently renovating the flag donation boxes outside of the American Legion building and the VFW building.
That's awesome.
Now, part of this project is I would like to install a new box, and I was thinking a perfect place would be somewhere around this area, this premises. I come here seeking permission to install this box. It's all completely free for you.
Can I ask who would maintain picking up the flags and everything?
Yes,
You setting that up?
yeah, sorry. Yeah, members of Troop 83, me and members of Troop 83 will be collecting flags and then retiring them at the VFW.
So you're talking about the old flag box like they have at the VFW on 21st?
Yes. Now,
Like the old mailbox where you could put your flags in? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, so
Okay.
I refurbished those. However, I do have a new box that we've recently purchased. I do have a couple of handouts here, if you would like.
Sure,
I can go
thank you.
Yeah,
Hand these out to everybody.
because I use that often.
Yeah. So, the front page here is the new flag box, which we have
Oh, okay.
purchased.
I didn't know they actually made one. I thought they always used old mailboxes.
Well, it's not necessarily it wasn't printed as a flag retirement box. We repurposed it.
Chris, can I actually hand one of those to the chief? So,
Absolutely.
I'm very well aware of this.
You see it?
Oh,
Just, I'm 100% supportive.
You sure you want
I want to make sure you see the type of box it is, because I'm going to ask you from a public safety concern if you have any. Just with that being outside of Borough Hall.
Is this going to be indoor or outdoor?
This will be outdoor.
That's going to be permanently affixed into, I guess,
Yes.
ground.
Do we have a spot for this?
I was going to say, borough engineer, any suggestions?
I mean, with all the,
I have a question. So it opens from the top and you drop it in? It's not a slot like this one?
Yes, so how the mechanism works is you open the top and then a floor is kind of affixed to that top roof. So when you open the top, you can place your flag in there.
Oh, okay.
And then you close it and it falls down to the bottom of the box.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's, I was thinking what would prevent it from getting wet or something.
Yeah.
Are you going to embellish this with any painting
Oh,
or
absolutely.
anything? Oh, good.
We plan to put decals and everything on the.
Okay, like kind of what you have here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful. And then who would come and, take the old flags out and do whatever you do with them?
So members of Troop 83 and myself will be
Okay.
coming by and taking the flags and then retiring them at the VFW.
Is this made out of heavy-duty metal, or it's vandalism proof, or, I mean, child safety?
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
yes.
All right.
I recommend maybe put it somewhere where it's under the camera's eyes, so if anyone did mess with it, maybe we can be alerted.
Yeah, that sounds
My
great.
concern would be, I don't know if you're talking about safety, someone mentioned, putting something other than a flag in there.
What did the American Legion say about it? I'm sure you went there first.
They already have a flag box installed, so I pulled that box already, and I'm already in the process of refurbishing it.
Oh, okay, so
They already have a flag
they're
box established.
We have a-
welcoming of this, okay.
If I may, I'm very familiar with this project. I'm a member of VFW. Presented over there, very good job. The only thing I have an issue is, I don't know what the front is going to look like right this second. As you can see, it's,
Right.
A work in progress.
So,
Yeah.
I'm sure once we have that done, we can find a place that's covered by a camera angle. That would be, I don't foresee anybody trying to break into it or anything like that. But if we have to put it right by my window, I think, Greg, if I'm correct, is it, we have enough space over there where?
Yeah, if we have to make a concrete pad, we do that now.
Yes, we can do
This
that.
is that.
We're totally able to pour a foundation, a concrete foundation.
Yeah, there's room there.
Because I have no problem, this one's in the further building, so if anybody does come across from the parking lot, it's right up front, they can see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm absolutely supportive.
Probably.
I think that's a good spot for it, actually. I think that's a good spot
I
for it.
mean, like I said, I don't know what the front's gonna look like, with everything set up.
Right, right. And we have a lot out there.
So I
I know,
know.
a lot going on, so,
I like
yeah,
that
that's a
idea.
good
From a
idea.
liability standpoint, should we pour our own concrete?
I don't think we need to do
Grading,
that.
and I mean, is Tony gonna give us?
I think that the Eagle Scouts have poured concrete slabs all over Kenilworth. It's
Yeah.
part of his project.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think we're okay.
I have faith in the Boy Scouts.
I think it's
Yes.
a great
Appreciate
project.
it.
Yeah, this is a great project. I love it.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, so everyone is in agreement? Is
Yes.
everyone in agreement? Yes. Yes, congratulations. We look forward to
Thank you,
seeing the
Chris.
boxes.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
for
much.
all your dedication to Kenilworth and this great project.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, I just had a few things I wanted to read. I received a letter, and, you know, our police department is amazing, and they never get enough accolades. And I received a letter from Jose, I'm probably going to pronounce his last name incorrectly, but I'm going to give it about my best shot. Arnu Gede, and he's in EMS at University Hospital in Newark, and he sent me this letter that on February 23rd, 2025, at approximately 6 p.m., my grandmother had a syncopal event at the residence of my mother and stepdad, who live at 611 Fairfield Avenue in Kenilworth. I am a paramedic and EMS supervisor for University Hospital in Newark. I just wanted to commend and recognize the crew for being professional, caring, and courteous. They are doing an outstanding job. We were all extremely impressed and satisfied with their service. This includes the Kenilworth officer who responded to the call and the RWJ paramedics. Thank you for having such quality providers in your beautiful city. And the officer that responded was Officer Fascino, and I just want to publicly say thank you. You're doing such a great job. So, thank you.
Thank you, Madam.
You're welcome.
And one more thing, I just wanted to announce that I met with the mayor in Cranford, and we came up with, or they came up with, we were talking about how to improve membership at the Cranford Pool, and I suggested that they offer a discount to the residents of Kenilworth. So they have done that. The membership fees that were $400 for an individual are now $350. A family of two was $675. They're reducing it to $575. A family of three was $725, which is going to be reduced to $625. And a family of four, which was $775, will be reduced to $675. And for any senior wishing to join, it is $225 for the summer. So it's just nice. We don't have a town pool. I know I live 2 blocks from the Cranford Pool. But if any of our residents want to take advantage, it's a really nice facility. There's a pool in Centennial Avenue. They also have an indoor pool, and then the Orange Avenue pool. So I just want to let everyone know about that. I believe, did you put it on the borough website?
Not on
No.
the website, on the Facebook page.
So, okay. The clerks put it on the sign outside and also on the announcement page on Facebook. But you can reach out to any of us if you have any questions.
Mayor, that's wonderful. I know a lot of families utilize that
Yeah.
pool. Do
Yep.
you know if they're going to automatically apply the discount if they see the Kenilworth residents?
So you'll go on, thank you for that question. So when you go on, it's sign up at register.communitypass.net/Cranford. So when you click on that you're a Kenilworth resident, that discount will be applied.
That's wonderful.
And yep, it's great,
Yeah, I think
I think
their facilities are fantastic.
Very nice.
Yeah, I love there.
very nice.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, I'd like to move on to the finance department. Councilman Morrow, still getting it.
Thank you, Mayor.
Those changes.
All right, I can provide a budget update for tonight. We've been talking at the last couple of meetings that that's what we're actively working on. The Finance Committee did convene last week with our CFO and Town Administrator, and I gotta be honest, we are working through some tough situations with this year's budget. Overall, we do have decreased revenues from almost all areas. The decrease in revenues per average assessed house is coming in at $13.06. Sounds low, but it adds up. We also have increases in many expenditures. A lot of them we were expecting. However, there were some that we weren't expecting, such as the borough's healthcare premiums, which are really just adding pressure on the budget. The committee and our CFO are very thoughtful about the tax increases our residents have been seeing, and we're taking this very seriously. Some hard decisions will get made, and we're determined to keep the municipal tax increase below the appropriations cap and the tax levy caps. As we stand, the budget is over those limits, but we are not finished yet. So a lot of work to do. I'd like to acknowledge that our individual department heads are very understanding as they're hearing this message, working with us to keep the expenses as level as we can from where they were last year. It's a very sensitive situation that we're working through, and we're really trying to strike the right balance and manage this the right way, understanding that these are the taxes we all pay. So our budget is due at the next meeting. I think we're going to be taking this to the 11th hour, right, Ken? But we are feverishly working on making this right.
Great.
So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, Department of Public Works, Councilman Boyle.
Thank you, Mayor. The DPW collected and disposed of 205 tons of municipal solid waste for a cost of $16,399. They collected 28 tons of commingled recycling for a cost of $2,101. They received a check for $617 from HealthSeek for collected clothing. And we wanted to remind residents to please bundle up cardboard for pickup. It can be stuffed in boxes, taped, or tied up, but loose cardboard will not be taken. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman. Department of Public Safety, Councilman Finestrella.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Right now, I don't have any numbers, but I do have a report from the chief for the Kenilworth Police Department. They had an officer that was involved in a motor vehicle accident on the Boulevard in Coolidge on March 8th. Officer Trotman was responding to a call with his lights and sirens. No major injuries were reported to everyone involved, thank God. The officer was transported to the hospital over precautionary measures and released shortly thereafter. A message from the chief: residents are advised that the parking lot behind Kenilworth City Market, the restaurant, the Tormina, Star of India, is not a borough municipal lot. It is privately owned, and the property owner has employed a towing company to remove vehicles not using the stores in that complex from the lot. So if you're parking there and going anywhere else besides any of the stores on the boulevard,
Well, the store's on that block.
yeah.
It's both blocks.
Just that block.
Just
No,
that
it's
block.
both of them. It's the city market and where the Jimmy Buffs is, that whole complex. They call it the Kenilworth Village, correct me if I'm wrong.
So those two blocks from 21st Street
Yes.
to 21st?
Halfway through the next block.
Okay,
Really, I didn't.
to 19th.
So if you're going
So
to
those
Three
two
Guys,
blocks, so if
yeah,
you're going to Three Guys, don't park there. Or you're picking up your kids from school, don't park there.
On well, listen, we don't want our residents to have to deal with it. My phone has been thrown off the hook over this. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do. It's not a borough lot. I've tried to speak to several of the business owners who do not have businesses with that lot. To try to come to some reconciliation with the owner, whether they can compensate him for use of the lot for their patrons. That is on them. The budget, the borough has no, they can put a gate on both sides of issues to it.
Right,
So,
private property,
just so everybody knows, it's private property.
okay.
So that's the owner of the buildings owns the lot too?
Yes.
And that includes even where Jimmy Buff's is, half in,
Yeah.
I thought it was just that lot.
Does it include to the liquor store or no?
It's not including the liquor store.
It's not including the liquor store, what about the realtor
The
there?
back of Jimmy Buff's, that fence going.
Okay, so it does not include the realtor office or the liquor store, but it would include then backyard grill?
Not the realtor.
There's
Well, the
no.
liquor
No.
store, that parking lot is privately owned behind him.
Yes, that parking lot
Right.
behind that, those.
Yeah.
So he must not be part of that village then, it must end at Jimmy Buff's, right?
And,
Yeah, Jimmy Buff's or the backyard grill.
If you're parked behind
So-
Backyard Grill, what's that, the Backyard Grill, we have Tongue Tie. And Star Vineyard's on the other side. But if you have.
That's right, Tongue Tie's there,
then you have
too.
Jimmy Buff's. If you're parked behind that, in that parking lot, you're wrong. They have the right to tell you, they have the signage up there, everything they've done to prepare for this is done according to borough ordinance. So we'll do our best to try to get the property owner to work with some of the people.
But people can park in the lot behind the market and go to Tum Tai?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
It's all part of the Kenilworth Village, that whole area's called, nicknamed Kenilworth Village.
okay.
Maybe they should list their businesses that are in that village.
And we probably,
Well, you know where you're going, it's everybody that's going
Right,
on
it's
the
just a-
block or lives on the block
Right.
and they're parking there.
right,
So we're doing our best to try to work with people. Our phone is ringing. My personal phone constantly rings over it. Like I said, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do as a borough. It's
Right.
on them. Hopefully they can come to a happy medium.
how many cars have been towed that you know
I
about?
know for a fact there were a handful here. It depends on what time of day, when they want to really get. Usually it's overnight, correct me if I'm wrong. They'll come out and say, we have several cars we want to pull out. And if we know the person, because they give us, we'll reach out and say, hey, listen, get your car out of there. If we have you in the cab, we'll do our best to try to help our residents. But there are instances where we can't get in touch with the person and their car has been towed.
Right,
So,
So my question would be to tow them during the day as well?
anyway. I have pulled into.
Is there even warning cards on
Yes,
cars?
they have given some warnings.
they do have signs up, they added some new signs up that I saw.
But they have put cards stating that, listen, your vehicle should not be parked here, this is only for this location. And I had several people reach out to me and I said, listen, as far as I'm concerned, I cannot allow people to park here to go pick up their kids at the school. It doesn't work that way.
Right,
So hopefully they'll realize that he is actually hurting his own patrons because people that he's telling out of that are still the same people that are, frequenting his
Right.
establishment. So
Right.
hopefully a happy medium will come. We'll see. It usually
Let's
takes
hope.
time, we go through this every 10, 15 years.
okay.
I've been here for a while.
Yeah, sometimes they let it go and then all of a sudden they decide to enforce it.
Yes.
Was it new ownership? I mean, it was an older lady, maybe she passed it on.
Yeah, those Margie
So now like the
Adler.
new, the
It's had it for a
next,
few years.
Yes, it was Margie Adler, it was a little bit to hospital.
I'm sure there's
It's
pressure from the stores there that are paying rent and
That's what it
they
is.
want their customers to be able to pull in and use their stores and they're paying rent there, so, I understand that.
And I agree with them, I
Yep.
understand, it might be inconvenience for those trying to pick up their
Yep.
kids from school, but I parked in really hard, Harding parking lots and walked for many years to bring my kids to class. so.
Right. Okay,
As, finally, as the weather gets warmer, obviously people are gonna wanna open their windows of their car and maybe drive a little bit swifter or faster. I'd advise people to keep it, at the speed limit. Pulling out of Epping today, I saw the portable speed
Yes,
radar
radar
thing.
sign.
And they were going faster than saying your speed is 37, 38. The lights were flashing, so
Yes.
anytime over 40, right, or 45?
Well, the one that you see out there is the actual trailer, the actual receptacle that we're putting out there is not ready yet. That one there, and we have it set for a certain speed limit, because we don't want people driving by, seeing how fast they go. But it will activate after a certain speed. So we're doing everything we can to try to slow these people down on the boulevard. It is what it is, by limited manpower, doing what we can. Our guys are doing a great job, so.
Yes, I know I walked the dog there through Lenape off Epping. That little stretch there, because there's nowhere for police officers to be pulled over and catch anybody, except for that ramp going into Lenape. But,
That's Cranford.
yeah, that's actually Cranford, and they're just flying by, just amazing.
They go in there and shoot him.
Yeah. They should put them at the shooting.
Oh, yeah, that, which
Yeah, you could take the trail, people go in there parking.
But when it comes down to the speed radar signs that we have, we're starting getting put in there, that's gonna help slow down a lot of people. That's permanent, that's not moving. So that's gonna help slow a lot of people down. Several towns that have had that implemented in their towns, and it has helped slow people down. And that's the whole thing, trying to get people, once we get them to slow down, then we'll work on the other aspects of the quality of life when it comes to speeding and parking in town.
Chief, do
Yes.
you have, you know the signs that go in the center saying you have to stop for pedestrian
Yes.
crossing? Because the other day, we were in our car trying to make a turn, and this poor woman got stuck in the middle, and nobody would stop either way. So,
I totally understand that. That's-
I know you had, there were more at one point, they probably got hit.
If I may, a lot of them have been struck. Also, a lot of them are older. We have some of them out there due to the, obviously, we just got out of winter time. So, you know, we pulled them out of the roadway because if
Yeah.
the plows come down, they'll destroy them. So, once now that the weather's starting to get to that 60, happy degree level,
Yeah.
we'll start.
I think they slow people down.
They do. They
It
do.
reminds people to stop and they slow people
We
down.
do
Yeah,
have the
this
linear
woman was
shots.
stuck right in the middle. She
Yeah, that's a
couldn't
shame.
go either way,
Yeah.
and both cars kept.
That's happened to me too.
It's happened, I mean,
Yeah.
it's happened to me.
Right.
Yeah.
You go like this and then you look at you when you go by.
Yeah.
But we also have delineators that we have put out there, several areas of town, trying to get people to slow down.
Okay.
It's, now that the weather's breaking, you can see more of this traffic stuff coming out.
Okay.
Ken Grady working on this.
Thank you.
Has there been any suggestions to do anything, the parking lot, walking into the VFW? I did that Monday night, St. Patty's, and cars are flying by. And
Oh, in the
trying to get,
parking lot?
yeah, so, you're trying to get to VFW, guys.
That was, what is it called? The delineator that goes in the middle of the road?
Yeah,
That should be in the middle of the road and it's not, it's over on the side.
Yeah, they took it out of the
So-
roadway because they needed to get all their buses and everything in for St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
So, like I said, now the weather's starting to break, you're gonna
That's
see those.
again, that
people
slows
coming
people
back
down.
It does slow people
Yep.
down, but the actual parking lot itself, that is just a person that wants to drive like that. And
Right.
trying to catch that person doing it is very difficult to do when our hands are tied doing other things.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you.
Planning and zoning, Councilman Scarice.
Thank you, Mayor. I got some numbers here just for the month of February. There's some other numbers, but then they don't seem to match up, so I don't want to say them just in case there's an error. The total receipts, building fees were $37,089, trustee fees $4,959, miscellaneous $1,630. Trailer storage, $1,200. Road opening fees, $4,500, totaling $49,378. So, also about 10 things going on in town. Maybe you've seen it, I don't know if I mentioned it, but they have, where the L&J used to be, I think that's 730 Jefferson, trying to subdivide that lot. They just knocked down a building to make a parking lot. North 10th Street, I think it's National Tool was over that way, looking to add some loading bays to existing warehouse. Some people trying to put in a fence, but they had to get, so that's, they had to resubmit their application. And Onyx, well, the subdivision went through, so there's actually, instead of 106 acres, it's now like 70 and 30, give or take a little. So that's good for that development. AT&T Wireless is replacing communication equipment on our water tower. And CoreWeave on the old, the Nest property, the Onyx, Galvin and Merck. Going to repurpose the K11 building, going to start making a data center, construct electric utility yard and chiller platform. There'll be 31 generators and 29 chillers. So they're going to have that. Those plans will be forthcoming. And that's all I have to report.
Thank you, Councilman. Recreation and Fire, Councilman Piper.
Thank you, Mayor. The middle school baseball, softball, and track have begun practicing, and I live across the street. It's nice to see the town alive again. Games and meets are scheduled to begin in April and run through May. The Eagle Scout projects on the front room and the rear storage room have been completed in rec. We want to thank Connor Samia and Daniel Rodriguez for their project. The annual Easter egg hunt will be held on April 13th with a rain date of April 19th. More details will be coming in the next 2 weeks for the next meeting. And the rec will soon be accepting applications for summer camp counselors. Information and a link to the application has been posted on the Recreation's Facebook page. That's all I have tonight.
Thank you, Councilman. Health, Education, and Welfare, Councilwoman Giordano Paserno.
Thank you, Mayor. So I'm going to start off with our big day tomorrow at the Senior Center. Soup's on. Shirley, is it 5 o'clock? I had that noted, but I think I might be wrong.
From 6 to 8.
From 6 to 8. So everybody, do we still have tickets available? Space?
There are
Okay.
space.
Tickets are available. Everybody should get over to the Senior Center and enjoy some really good soup tomorrow night, 6 to 8. Last night was the Board of Education Finance meeting. It was a special meeting. Unfortunately, a lot of people didn't show up. So I would urge residents, if you want to know what's going on at the Board of Ed, take the opportunity to attend these meetings, especially something as important as the budget. But the next Board of Education meeting will be Monday, April 14th at 7 p.m. The Health Department, I think I mentioned last meeting that the construction office and the Health Department are going to be flip-flopping their offices. So they're going to start moving certain things out of the Health Department probably the end of March, storing them here to make some room down there to, I guess, clean up and paint, because you can't completely move both departments the same day. And then again, the second part will be the early part of April, moving out all the other essentials, getting that area cleaned up and whatever has to be done, and moving the construction office down there. So please be patient. Residents, anybody coming in that needs either one of those departments, understand that, things, as much as you plan, don't always work out as you think they will, but in the long run, this will be the best for both departments to be able to operate more efficiently and serve the borough residents better. So probably it'll take a good month for everybody to settle in, because probably computers and phone lines and all that kind of stuff has to get changed over. So if you happen to go down the Health Department, you don't find somebody, come up to Borough Hall and ask if you need some help during the transition period. And finally, the library, I touched on this at the last meeting, but I want to point it out again. They really have a special event, and it's statewide. It's called the Makers Day, New Jersey Makers Day, and it's March 22nd from 10 to 1:30. And it's all different activities about things and how to make them, things that are made in New Jersey, a lot of hands-on activities. So I urge people to come, young and old, bring your kids, come yourself. It's a really special event. And like I said, it is statewide, so a lot of libraries are participating, and it's a great event. If you want more details, call the library, 908-276-2451. And aside from this really special event, of course, they're really ramping up almost every day. During the day, in the evening, there's something really great going on at the library. So I urge everyone to get in touch and get their calendar. Just keep it on your refrigerator, especially the nice months. You take a walk up to the library and have a nice time. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you,
Councilman,
Councilwoman.
just a question about
Sure.
the school budget. it's good to all go to those meetings, and
Yeah.
except that I didn't. Do you know if they mentioned anything about the state aid? I heard it was going up about 5.5% for the town to the schools. Did they talk about that at all?
I wasn't at that meeting. We were at, the mayor and I were at I guess it's called a private meeting, and they were still working on what may happen with the state aid and where they would be at, and hopefully this year was not going to be the hit like it was last year, although we did get like 40% of it back. So I don't have those final numbers, but I'll have that at the next meeting.
Okay, great, thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay, Borough Engineer.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. I really don't have much. The only project we really have going on is the sidewalks out in the front, which are coming along. We're hoping they're going to be substantially complete this week, but we're not going to quite make that. That's going to end up bleeding into next week, but they're on the tail end. They're going to be out soon. So far, it's coming along well. Work's been good. Don't have any complaints. Just want to get them done, get them out. So other than that, I don't really have anything else.
Any questions?
I got 2 residents from Monmouth reached out, just an update, wanted to know about when they can expect the sidewalks. I told them later on in the spring. The sidewalks Vernon, I'm sorry, not Monmouth.
Oh, Vernon. I don't look into that. I don't know, but we have somebody lined up. I have to check their schedule.
Okay.
I know with the winter they wanted to do it. They probably want to wait for the spring. So. All right.
I reached out to the contractor helping Tony out. He says that Weldon is charging a premium for concrete before April 1st. And that would inflate his cost that he gave us without the premium. So we have to wait till April 1st passes. So hopefully the week of the 7th, they'll have the date for us, and he'll be doing Vernon Ave and North 21st across from Passage Funeral.
Okay, good.
Tony, the contractor doing all of the site work, they're doing all the finished landscaping and everything?
Out here? Yeah, they'll be cleaning up, reseeding, just get some shrubs out in the front, so everything, it's turnkey, they'll plant the shade trees.
It's seed, not sod, or?
Just be seed, no, it'll just be topsoil and seed. We didn't include sod. If I may?
Do we have an irrigation system out there?
Not yet. We have it set up for that, so we had the contractor install sleeves on the sidewalks, so we could run, we have 2 sets. We have a sleeve for future irrigation and a sleeve if you ever want to run electric back out, around for decorations and things like that. So it's set up so that if we want to add it, we don't have to touch the sidewalks. But we didn't have it in this, wasn't in this contract. It was kind of, we were right at the edge where we had the money budgeted. So.
Because it's just, now we have nothing for the whole front of of Borough Hall. That seed, I can't imagine it germinating.
It's going to have to be watered, but yeah. I mean, the idea though is to add the irrigation, we didn't want to do it under this contract because we didn't want to, again, we kind of figured, we knew we were going to be close to the budget limit, so. But it's set up for it, and it can be added.
How's the gas
Could you
company?
get a price, Tony?
Sure.
The sprinkler system we gave?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, if we're not watering it, everything's gonna die.
The seed's already down, right?
What's that?
Seed's already down out front.
I don't think so, no. There's still more grading, they still got to do more grading, it's still rough right now. It's got to.
Over by the health department, I thought I saw.
They do some temporary, they do some hay down there, I don't think that's not the fun. They just do it on as a temporary, hopefully to stabilize it, so.
And when the time comes, there's a boulevard from the gas company, obviously there'll be signs, do not park here and there. Any time frame for that yet?
For the paving,
Yeah.
it's going to be soon, when I understand.
I reached out to Mohammed from the county road department. He says they're looking on or around May 19th.
To pave?
May 19th.
Street fairs, the
Street fair,
18th.
that's the issue.
But he says they're paving at night.
You have all these people walking uneven around, that's my concern. People even listen to that call.
Yeah, see if they could do it before or afterwards.
That's up to the
It's
council.
up to that.
They're issuing the permits, right, Tony?
Yeah, it depends where they start too. They start down by Cranford side.
Right.
It's gonna take a while to get up this way.
When do we have our parade for, the street fair for?
18.
The day before.
Yeah, really.
So, day before.
Your concern is the way it is right now? Yeah.
Tony, could you get a price for a sprinkler system and a hydro seeding to
Yeah,
finish
sure.
that off?
Yeah, no problem. Can do that.
Thanks.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be cheaper now that because you have to dig a trench for the irrigation, right?
Yeah,
It's in
a small-
already.
It's a small trench, it's only kind of notched in, yeah. So,
Well, with the technology they have nowadays, they have some, it's a machine that acts like a sewing machine. It pulls the pipe underground and never actually digs it up. And like when they're done, you don't even know they were here. So,
Yeah, it's just like kind of cuts a groove, and as it goes in, it just recovers it. So it's a minimum disturbance to run the lines. They're only small tubes anyway.
They gotta be, what, 2 feet down or 1 foot? I think like 2 feet.
Only 2 feet. I mean, they're not on the winter, they get winterized, so we don't have to worry about freezing. So they should be winterized before we get the first
I mean,
frost.
blow them out with compressed air?
Yeah, they're blowing out. I mean, they usually, I don't know what you guys do. You guys do it yourself or do you get a company?
no, we do it in-house.
Doing it
Yeah.
now, okay, yeah. So,
Because now all those plants and everything, if you're not watering them,
Right.
Yeah.
and then how do you hold the contractor liable?
No, they gotta be watered.
Right.
Oh, I
We
agree.
should get some native plants so we don't have to water them.
They do recommend.
I can report back at the next meeting what those plans are.
No, I see those ads all the time, you know, to water the native plants and stuff.
They do
It attracts
I
butterflies.
think they have to be established, though.
Yeah, exactly.
This
All right.
sounds very expensive, what we're talking about here. As we're trying to close that budget in a week.
yeah, no, I mean, that was the whole idea.
That's capital.
I know, that's the next headache.
Right. But you know what'll happen? Nobody will want to hear it when they walk up and they see nothing but mud outside.
I hear you.
After all that beautiful work that was done.
Should get some AstroTurf.
I was just thinking that. Maybe the high school got some left over from their football field, we can throw it out.
Solid.
We'll have soccer practice for the borough.
Okay. Thanks, Tom.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Borough CFO.
Thank you, Mayor. As Councilman Morrow mentioned, we are working feverishly on the budget. For an introduction, for our goal is to hit the next meeting of April 2nd, which will be within the state guidelines. Yes, I do appreciate all the department heads understanding our financial situation. We are all working together to get the best budget for you guys to present to your constituents to give them the best bang for their tax dollars. So we are looking to do it without cutting any services, and we are working feverishly to make that happen. Just to touch base on the Board of Ed, I did get in touch with the Board Secretary. So yes, the spreadsheet I had showed an increase. However, that spreadsheet did not include the additional state aid they had gotten last year, $660,000. Don't quote me on the number. But, so that is not included in there. So technically, they're losing about $275,000 of state aid this year.
Compared to what they were in flux with last
They
year.
were in flux with last year.
Unbelievable.
And he did tell me they were meeting, and he wouldn't be able to tell me further numbers, except I did ask about the referendum, because mayors, we were both partially right. About $500,000 of the referendum was included in their tax dollars last year. And the board came up with a capital reserve of 1.5. However, this year's budget, a whole $2 million. So it's an additional 1.5 million coming out of tax dollars already for just the debt service. So they are going to be in a tough situation also. So until I find out anything further on that, I will let you know. And as soon as we finish meeting with the committee, we have something to release to everybody. We're trying our best.
Thank you.
Ken, question for you. Councilman Scalino talked about Verizon putting wireless controllers on top of the water tower. And I know we get fees for the wires on the poles. Do we get fees as a town for the water tower having a wireless, whatever it is?
I was going to ask Laura to see
Oh,
if there's
okay.
a contract, because if it's our water tower and they got
Yeah, could rent that real
sell.
estate out.
I know in Roosevelt Park, we had one, and we would get them a yearly.
Yeah, we should get something for it, definitely.
They want to reach
It's
out.
not our water tower, it belongs to the water company, because they're
Okay,
responsible
so-
for maintaining it, and
So
they were
there's your
supposed
answer,
to
the
have
water
maintained
company's
it 2
getting
years
money,
ago.
and we're just going to get permit fees if they're needed.
Is there anything on the tower now?
Yeah, they've been, it's a,
It was, I heard that when I heard that too.
it's updating existing code. It's been there since the 90s. Ken, one quick question. Did I understand you correctly that state aid to the school was cut to $275? Did I hear that correctly?
Yes, from what Mr.
Which was already cut last year.
Yep.
Well, it was cut, and then they gave some of it back
Yeah,
to
yeah.
it was,
Back,
but
yeah.
once again, it's sort of like our situation with the municipal relief aid that we had of 100 and something thousand, 103,000. That was reinstituted by the legislature, and unfortunately, both budgets will have to be done before then. So if they do reinstate it, maybe we'll have it in a reserve to then use in the following year. So, but that's probably not going to be known until June 30th, unfortunately. Although the board they gave out earlier, so, but for the municipalities, it wasn't, the legislators put it in their version of the budget that was finally adopted and approved, so. We didn't hear many rumblings of if they're going to bring that back for the municipalities, so fingers crossed.
So we have to have our budget in by April 1st, but that could change
Our
on the
budget
30th
has
when
to
they
be
do theirs.
introduced by April 2nd to meet the state guidelines of March 31st or the first meeting thereafter, so.
But we might get additional aid at 30th after the budget. Maybe.
That's totally up to the legislature,
Yeah.
and you're never going to know that until June 30th.
Okay.
And if it is, we'll just have that for next year's budget in the hopper, so.
Okay, thank you, Ken.
Thank you. Okay, Borough Attorney.
Nothing officially to report, but actually I happened to be looking at the state aid numbers for something else earlier. So understanding that there's some, not funny business, but that the numbers are somewhat fungible, at least what's reflected on the DOE website shows that the Board of Ed got a 5.63% increase. However, I think that's like 300, I was just looking again, like 350,000 or so increase. But kind of by the numbers, I guess if there's 600,000 that's being carried over, that theoretically explain the delta. So at least, what's on the website shows an increase, just to throw it out there, but not knowing any more details, it's just a number, so.
Okay, thank you. Borough Administrator.
I attended the annual Joint Insurance Fund Safety Kickoff Meeting for the year, and the borough was awarded the Bronze Award. So that pretty much equated to a check for $525. Ken, sound vaguely familiar? So what that award was for a safety incentive program that is run by the JIF. We can utilize those funds for safety initiatives. So this year, I'm going to work with one of our in-house assets, Officer Diltz downstairs. He is certified AED CPR trainer with the American Heart Association. So we're gonna do another program to get the employees and elected officials. You can get your AED and CPR certification if
Great.
you'd like. I'll put more information out about that once I sit down with Travis and we figure out what the schedule is gonna look like for that. Let's see, we had our St. Patrick's Day celebration here at the Borough. Thank you, Mayor and Councilman Finestrella, for joining us. We had I just want to throw a little special shout out there. Carmen Giardino from the fire department came
Yeah,
over with his bagpipes,
bagpipes.
and
Nice.
that was really special. We did enjoy that.
See you.
The petition deadline for the primary election is this Monday, March 24th, so have your petitions in by 4 p.m. And just, I guess on a personal note, as someone who has family members who are veterans, I just wanted to express that I really appreciate the Eagle Scout project that was presented this evening. And I can't think of a better time because in 2025, we have the Army, the Navy, and the U.S. Marine Corps will be celebrating their 250th anniversaries.
Yep.
So, thank you, Chris. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Will was at the, St. Patrick's Day.
What's that?
He came to St.
Oh, I'm
Patrick's
sorry.
Day.
That's okay.
Forgot about you, Pat.
Well, the flag, where do we go about the flag now? I talked to Jeremy, and we can't do it at the school.
Oh, the neurodivergent?
Yeah.
Did I
Why
say
not?
that right?
School.
Same thing, they can't, they only the American flag, they have.
They don't have an extra pole.
Well, we
Is there
have,
any other way we could?
what about, is there maybe one of the parks?
Well, I mean, we have the one at, the Mario is like 12 feet tall, I think, right in front.
I mean, are the
I
front,
don't know, do we have any more? There's one at 16th Street, right? No, it's down.
No, it's just the Marriott Park, and you're right, it's very short.
I don't know if you if council would prefer this as an alternative, but I was searching and I did find some banners. I'm gonna say they might be 3x4 maybe, and it's about neurodivergent awareness. So we could always put those up maybe outside. I did get those brick clips. Right,
Yes.
so we could always put them up outside the front doors if you want to do something like that.
could we do perhaps a little ceremony and a proclamation?
Absolutely.
Do we have to, I mean, the flag seems to
If
be
we can't, we
an issue.
Well, the flag raising was a suggestion. I don't know that, you know.
I mean, I think we
just
can-
wanted to celebrate.
I think we can still
More or
do
less wanted to
something.
get the school involved and everyone in the community.
Right. So could we perhaps do a little ceremony? I would be more than happy to do it. I can do a proclamation.
Or the other suggestion was wait until June. I mean, if that poll's going up anyway.
Mayor, I like your idea about the proclamation, making it into somewhat of a town event. What if we do something at the street fair? You get up on the podium and...
The street fair is tough
There.
because there's just so many,
I like the
a
idea
big chunk of those
non-residents
people are not,
It's a good thing.
yeah.
I also like the idea of taking it away from the government buildings, because I think that we've opened Pandora's box and we might want to talk about shutting that. So
Right.
anything we do with brick clips on the side of the wall, I think we're just going further down that rabbit hole.
Right, I just don't know that the street fair is the right event for it. It's just very, very crowded. But I
I don't know,
do
they do
think,
the karate thing in the middle of the street, they have such good audience attention. I don't know, I think disassociating it from the town buildings and town parks makes sense as a next step, just a consideration, because I do think we've opened Pandora's box here and it really does need to be shut.
I would agree with that. I mean, we should note it in some way. You can still do awareness, like you said, proclamation. I'm sure there's something we can do other than worrying about a flag, like something else. Does it have to be a flag? Other things, to make it noteworthy, to bring attention to it.
What are we gonna fly in that second pole that we're gonna put up in June?
Yeah, what's it for?
POW, I mean, I bet there's a million things that are government sanctioned.
The POW flag can go with the American flag, right?
All right, well, we got state flag, we got flag Kenilworth.
Is that what it's for? That's what they're for?
American flag, flag etiquette, it's the American flag in front of the building with the POW flag. No other flag underneath. The memorial flag for 9/11 flag is solely designated for that.
right.
So that's why we saw something in
Yeah,
the
it just
future,
don't- it just
possibly
isn't gonna-
putting something else, a
Right,
pole
right.
wise, that can be used, but that is on the governing body, whether you guys can utilize that pole, if, it's not even up yet, so.
Well, we have the ceremony until the pole's up and figure out by then what to do, but.
You should not put any other flag on those two poles.
Right.
No, yeah,
Right.
We could put a third American flag, we could do all American flags, there's no, that's proper,
Yeah,
idea,
third
right?
pole, you can do whatever you want, sir.
Yeah.
Salute every time I walk by.
So let's do the proclamation, and then when the flag pulls up in June, then we rehash and say, well, what do you want to do? And put it up for a week, just a week.
Well, I think we're gonna have to have a decision.
Right.
There's gonna have to be a decision whether we're doing flags or we're not doing flags.
Right.
So I think that
There's
has to
no
be
reason
established
to-
before
Right.
the flag pulls up. Okay?
Agreed.
Okay.
On the current situation, if there's a way to make it a bit more hoopla, if you will, around the ceremony, I think that's what they were expecting. So the simple proclamation at a council meeting, I'm not sure if that goes far.
Well, no, I'm talking about at the actual, whatever we decide to do. I'm not talking about reading the proclamation here, reading the proclamation at whatever event we decide to do.
Okay.
So,
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. And we can maybe even get little flags that we could pass around perhaps to
Yeah.
people,
There you go.
which would be nice, right? And they can take them home? Okay,
What a compliment,
yep,
Your
Okay.
flagpole issue, I think, to the council's point, that having, reasonable time and manner restrictions, if that's what you'd like to do, once it's up there as a, something that's reasonable and permitted, makes sense, then you'd have a policy in place as to how to address the requests when they come in moving forward.
okay.
But isn't that, I think the research was, you can't say no. Once you're doing flags, you gotta do everybody's flag. You
Yeah,
can't
but
deny
that's what I'm
requests.
saying, you have to have an official policy in place, kind of, there's still,
Yeah.
you can't have a flag that's
Like
gonna
you
say
said,
lie.
closing that door, that's something we would have to work towards closing.
But that's what, yeah, that's what we're,
Right, yeah, no, you're not wrong, but I'm saying there's just there's certain speaks that still cross, like you can't have a flag up there, like the can't yell fire in a crowded theater type of a situation, you can't have a flag that's whatever the equivalent of that is, but since I can't take it off my
Right,
head. But to
I'm-
that, your point, yes, generally, if you're having it, it's what's good for one is good for all.
so there's a list of flags that we can deny, I guess, somewhere?
That's what we would have to put together.
Or we just.
But then we could say they're discriminatory, like we decide that we don't like this particular flag, now they can sue us, that's the
You'd
whole
follow-
issue.
You'd follow with the kind of legal guidance, see what the case, see what the law says, the cases say about it, and find what the reasonable, what the limit is of what, what the four corners are of what, what policy you put
But
in
what
place.
it comes down to is we'd have to come to an agreement, because what's the sense of putting up a third pole if we're not gonna
But
find
you're
it?
exactly right to that point, yes.
Correct.
That is true.
All right,
Everybody-
so I expect the council's going to have conversation and talk to the borough attorney about this, all right?
Anybody want to volunteer as a lead on that, so it actually gets done?
I was having Mark look into it before the diversion even came up.
So it's something Mark's researching now?
Because I know it's just, that's gonna be a problem, and here, and ironically, it just happened.
All right, Sabina, how about I...
So he's supposed to look into it. I know Clark already has that, so I said you just take a look at that.
So how about I work with you, and then we ask Laura to send our findings around to the rest of the governing body,
Yeah.
and we'll, guess take it from there.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay.
Next for council consideration is the consent agenda consisting of resolutions 25-96 through 25-102.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion, second.
Motion made by Councilman Scurry, seconded by Councilman Fenestrella.
Resolutions.
Roll call.
Resolutions 2596 through 25102 have been approved by one motion. All items will be recorded individually in full in the minutes. Councilman Boyle?
Yes.
Councilman Fenestrella?
Yes.
Councilman Giordano Serno?
Yes.
Councilman Morrow?
Yes.
Councilman Piper?
Yes.
And Councilman Scurry.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next for council consideration is an ordinance for the public hearing and adoption of ordinance 2025-01, ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 57, alcoholic beverages, Section 4 fees.
The purpose of this ordinance is to amend borough liquor license fees. Is there a motion to open the floor for public comments on this ordinance only?
Motion?
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Morrow, seconded by Councilman Fenestrella. Does anyone have anything to say for this ordinance and this ordinance only? Please come forward and state your name and address. Okay, seeing no one, is there a motion to close the floor for public comments on this ordinance only?
Motion?
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Morrow, seconded by Councilman Scurries. Roll call?
The next one is a roll call, the adoption.
Okay. Is there a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-01?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Fenestrella, seconded by Councilman Scurries. Roll call?
Councilman Boyle?
Yes.
Councilman Fenestrella?
Yes.
Councilman Giordano Serno?
Yes.
Councilman Morrow?
Yes.
Councilman Piper?
Yes.
And Councilman Scurries.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next up for introduction is ordinance 2025-03, ordinance amending Chapter 15, departmental structures, Section 15-2, Police Department Table of Organization, of the Borough of Kenilworth.
Okay, the purpose of this ordinance is to amend the police department's table of organization. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2025-03 on introduction?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Scurry, seconded by Councilwoman Giordano Paserno. Roll call?
Councilman Boyle?
Yes.
Councilman Finisterra?
Yes.
Councilman Giordano Paserno?
Yes.
Councilman Moro?
Yes.
Councilman Piper?
Yes.
Councilman Scurries?
Yes.
Ordinance 2025-03 will be scheduled for public hearing and adoption at the April 16, 2025 council meeting at 6 p.m.
Okay, comments are welcome during the public portion of the meeting. Before making a comment, all speakers must identify their name and address. Is there a motion to open the floor to the public? Motion made by Councilman Boyle, seconded by Councilman Piper? Morrow. Does anyone have anything to say for the good and well-being of the borough? Please come forward and state your name and address. Hi, Paulette.
Paulette Drogan, 250 Faytooth Avenue, Kenilworth. Two things. You had mentioned about the pool, Cranmer Pool opening up. You should look into it because the indoor pool now belongs to the YMCA.
Oh, so I might have misspoke
It just happened.
on that, okay.
The past year, and I know that because.
Wasn't aware of that.
So it would be just the outside pools, but that's
Okay.
still good, but just so you know that.
Mhm.
The second thing is.
The outside pool at Centennial as well, so just not the indoor pool.
Yeah, the outside
Right.
belongs to the town, but the inside now is
Okay.
the YMCA.
Okay.
So you have to be a Y member to go there.
Wow.
I guess you could then use the pool. That's too expensive. The second thing is, I understand that the shared services with Union and Kenilworth with the health department is no longer, is that correct?
No, it still is.
Okay, someone told me that they didn't renew. So we still will have my thing was the health fair in September.
Yes,
There still will be a health fair.
absolutely.
Okay, that's all I needed. Thank you.
Thank you.
How you doing, Rich Paserno, 241 Faytooth Avenue. I wanted to take an opportunity to tell the governing body what's going on at the planning board level, because there have been some changes and there have been some things that are going on that I think you should know. First of all of you know the planning board members come with credentials like contractors for over 50 years and engineers and architects and you name it, we have it on our board. And what's been happening probably in the last 3 applications or so, although they're coming before us, a lot of things are being kicked back, denied, or carried to another session. What happens as a result of that, as you all know, is on the planning board level, there's a completeness review. They go through that, and that happens, and then they're allowed to come before us at that point. What has been happening is when let's call it the engineers, the planners, the attorneys get together, if they're not thorough in their application, what begins to happen is we have to carry that into another meeting, into another session. They have to go back and do their homework. What our planning board does not allow is a laundry list of conditions because they did not complete their plan properly. If it's not on the plan, it doesn't get approved. Now, there are certain things that you could miss, maybe a tree, a light, a candlelight, something like that, and then we'll make that exception. The reason why this is so important, because you're going to get some buzz, as we did early last year, that, oh my God, the escrows are so high, why is the planning board charging so much? The planning board is not charging so much, it's because the applicants, professionals, are not doing their job properly, so they have to go back to the drawing board in order to get the right information to come before us again. Now, it's only fair that if the planner, the engineer, the attorney is sitting there waiting to listen to that case to either debate, agree, or disagree with the other professionals on the applicant's team, if they can't get that done that night, they have to come back. So that escrow starts to deplete. So then it needs to be replenished. So I want you to know that the professionals that we have on our planning board are not overcharging, they're not making things worse. The thing is, it's the planning board who is saying, I'm sorry, we can't hear your testimony, you're not ready, go back to the drawing board, and that's what's going on. So I don't know if anyone's heard anything, I want to bring it to you. You're hearing it from this level, not from the street. I don't know if that's something.
We know what you mean.
Yeah, you know what I mean. In addition to that, we also sent out a memo about 3 weeks ago to the planning board, the entire planning board, that we are changing the date of our planning board meetings to the last Tuesday of the month. And I wanted you guys to know that, and it works pretty good for you as well, because if we're on the last Tuesday of the month, by the time we do our business, if there's something that we have to do, then it goes to you in the governing body that following Wednesday, so it kind of works a little bit better for everyone concerned. So I just wanted to bring you up to speed on that. If you have any questions,
Thank you.
let me know.
I have a question for you, Rich. Thanks for the proactive warning about what might be coming. Appreciate stuff like that. You said it was the last 3. Is it more of a trend that you're noticing that the applications aren't complete? Because I remember I've been on the planning board a few months. I mean, this was the case for the last 2 years too, right?
You know what? The applications are complete. In other words, all the completeness review is done. They get through that, and it's done. Now they come. The 45 days pass, and then they come before us. When they come before us, the plan is not ready to be reviewed by the planning board. There's too many holes in the plan. They'll either leave the impervious section out. Oh yeah, we're going to put in a drywall. Well, where is it on the plan? What are you doing about the neighbor's property? What about the fence over here? What about the lighting on the left side of the property? How does that offend someone else? So all these things are not taken into consideration. It is not our planner or our engineer or our attorney to review the plan. It's our obligation to make sure that they check all the boxes, that the plan is there, the north arrow is in its place. So those are the parts of the completeness review that we look for as the planning board. But when they come before us and they take 20 minutes to try to explain to us what they think they're going to do, and they have no idea, we got to kick it back.
Are these professional builders, or are these the average homeowner like me trying to do something and not getting it right?
Well, the average homeowner is probably getting more latitude, if you want to call it, than anybody else. Because what I do at that point is I'll ask our planner and our engineer to walk them through the process, because they have no representation, they can't afford the representation, so we try to make it work. The misnomer about the planning board, Billy, is that, I'm sorry, Councilman, is that, oh, I'm going for the planning board, they're going to deny me. No, we're here to help. We want it to work. We want to develop our town. So, yeah, the resident that wants to put the addition on this, we're trying to help those people. The people that come in that are doing a subdivision, or they're putting an addition or something like that, they're coming with professional representation. Those people are not prepared. We have our professionals, they have theirs, and our board. And if they're not ready, we're not approving it. We have to kick it back, because we have to take care of the residents.
Sounds like you should know better kind of a situation.
Exactly. It's pretty simple, Bill.
Yeah, okay.
It's pretty simple.
Thanks for the heads up here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Anyone else? Hi, Shirley. Hope we can lower that for you.
Maxwell, 38 South 24th Street in Kenilworth. On behalf of the Kenilworth Historical Society, I'd like to thank you for considering the resolution that was proposed for the borough to commemorate the 250th anniversary of America next year. And we'd like to express our willingness, if you so wish, to spearhead that effort, much in the same way that we did the borough's centennial celebration back in 2007, when we convened a committee that met regularly to plan events throughout the year that involved all different factions in Kenilworth and represented a cross-section of our community.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah,
We would be willing to do that if you'd like.
you have my vote.
Yeah, my blessing, thank you.
Who
It's
better,
awesome.
who better to do that, right?
I'm sure it's gonna, everything you do will be amazing.
Well, we already have a plan for what the Historical Society is going
I'm
to
sure you do.
So if you like the idea of our leading the community effort, then we will start.
Yes, thank you.
That's true.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you. And as a senior director, senior program director at the senior center, I'd like to just remind everyone that this Wednesday, coming Wednesday, the 26th, we have the state representative coming to the senior center to talk about the changes in the New Jersey property tax relief program.
Oh, that's great.
We have well over 52 people signed up for that already. And so if anyone is interested, please just call the senior center, let us know, because we will have some refreshments.
What time is that?
From 9:30 a.m. to 11 on Wednesday, March 26th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shirley. Okay, anyone else? Okay, seeing no one, is there a motion to close the floor for public discussion?
Motion?
Second.
Motion made by Councilwoman Giordano Paserno, seconded by Councilman Morrow. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, does anyone have anything else they'd like to discuss?
I'd like to workshop something, if we could,
Mhm.
open that up for a second. Just, thinking fancy about all the services we don't want to cut. Bulk keeps coming up. I know that we cut it from 2 to 1 last year. And the way things are looking, I'm not sure it's going to change. So I wanted to ask Pat, Councilman Boyle, and maybe Greg with DPW, what could we do? Right, I mean, is there a way that every other month, let's say, last pickup of the month, residents could put 1 or 2 bulk items out, and then you flip that every other month, north
Would
to
that
south?
be then no bulk at all?
I don't know if I'd go that far, I just want to provide a little bit of relief, I know it's a hot issue.
Yeah, you're treading on.
I know.
Then what are you? Then
You gotta make hard decisions, that's why we were elected.
Our superintendent has been diligently working on alternate plans.
Yeah.
The floor is yours.
So I met with my committee before the council meeting, and we came over a couple of options, and one of the options that the committee and I were in agreement with, that we want to discuss with the rest of the council, if you guys want to discuss it tonight or other council meetings, was we can do it in-house and schedule it. So what we would ask is, we would put limits on items, the amount of items that a resident can put out at a certain time or throughout the course of the year. And then they would call, schedule it, we would do so many appointments per month, because we'd only be able to do it 1 day a month. And we do it through, like, as example, April through September, or May through October, just 6 months. And that was one of the options, because that way we can utilize, make it more efficient by not driving around town and not doing anything. We're going to specified destinations, and it'll be more efficient that way.
So it's just kind of like the system now, where if I got a couch, I can call you up, and $75 later, they'll pick it up, it's kind of like that, but
free.
But we're waiving the fee.
Yeah.
And it's scheduled for 1 day of a particular month or week
Yeah.
or something.
So what I would do is I would schedule it on a Friday, so in the event that for whatever, an unforeseen circumstance, we run late, we can follow up on Saturday. So that way it doesn't sit out over the weekend, and just finish that route. But it would be a set number of stops per month, but the only thing we need to agree on is what are we going to allow limit-wise for the residents for the year. And that's something we can control on an Excel spreadsheet by address whenever someone calls it in. So like if you guys say, all right, they get, as an example, hypothetically, every resident gets 10 items a year. Well, if they have 3 in the month of April, that's 3 out of 10, they got 7 items left for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And if they don't use it, they don't use it, it's no big deal. But, and then we would just you know, if our book fills up for that month, all right, we'll put you on for next month, and then that way you know when to put it out.
And this would be in lieu of having any major bulk pickup.
Correct.
Right.
This would,
Because then it's a more controlled, you call for an appointment, they know what they're picking up, they have the appropriate truck and manpower, and they're going, they take it off, you know, the front of your lawn, and it's not sitting out, and it's not borough-wide, and you don't feel
people aren't coming and
compelled.
picking through the garbage.
Right, and you don't feel compelled to run around your house and throw out anything you think you might want to
Right.
throw out, because you're trying to make bulk pickup.
But bulk pickup would have to be bulk itself. We wouldn't take bags, because it has to be something that they can see when they're picking it up.
Right,
basically.
right,
So we can't take bags, we can't take construction debris.
right.
So like, we had a resident last year who demoed the deck, we had another resident who was
I know.
using furniture from a commercial business and putting it out in front of their house. So we're gonna have a supervisor following this truck whenever we do this, if you want us to do it this way. And they'll be there to make those judgment calls, take photos of violators, write them up, and move on to the next house.
So Greg, when they call, you know, I call, I'm gonna say, you know, I have something for bulk pickup, I have to tell you, it's a couch, a refrigerator, and a washing machine. So you know what's out there, so if you go there, there's, I don't know, a whole dining room set or whatever, what would happen in that situation?
Well, we would source, that's why the foreman would have to go in when Mason comes, so we could source separate it. So
No,
if
I
there's,
mean-
for example, a refrigerator there, and that's something we're gonna allow on the bulk collection, we will put that in the back of the truck rather than the garbage truck, because that's a recyclable item where we can get scrap money for it. And other items, like someone throws out fluorescent light bulbs, so that's not going in there, that has to go separate. Same thing with styrofoam or.
Well, I think what she's
No, I
asking is.
mean, what if I
someone
say
puts-
I'm gonna put something out and it's something.
You go there and there's 10
totally
items.
different?
Oh, yeah, no, I don't want someone calling me up and saying they're listed items. Just say how many items you have at your house, give me your address, and just keep it simple.
Okay.
There's no reason to know what it is, just tell me how many items you have.
Resource-wise, what would you need to pull this off? Is it current trucks, current manpower, or would you need more equipment?
No, that's why I want to do a certain number of stops, so I can just run one truck.
Right.
And that
One
claw
day.
now is no weight concerns for workers' comp, that claw in the back of the trucks now?
Unfortunately, that's only for barrels, we
Only for barrels.
can't use that. If there is something too heavy, we have a loader that can pick it up and that the bucket fits in the back of a garbage truck. So if it ever gets to that point, we can always just follow up with that.
And what's the savings if we do a more controlled, scheduled pickup for a number of months?
So I don't have the tonnage, but I could have sworn we picked up over 200 tons of bulk in 2024 when we did it just once, and that was the whole town.
And that
So-
eliminates the $50,000 right off the bat.
And how much was that?
Well, you figure 200 tons at $95 a ton. So it was expensive.
So this being more controlled, we don't have that
Putting limits
expense.
on it will be more controlled. There were people putting on 20, 30 items, you know. And when I say 20, you know, it could have been like a record player and then a couch, as, you know, varying sizes, but some people were taking great advantage of it, and there was nothing wrong with that because we don't have term limits, item limits, but other people weren't putting out a couple things. Term limits isn't an issue.
In between a scheduled pickup, if I want to come to the DPW, I can come down there and bring it myself,
If
right?
we want to do a hybrid like that, we can. 'cause
No, I
that's one
mean,
of the other
is that the
options.
policy now? Could I come down
Well,
there?
Yes, but then.
But there's a fee though,
It's
right?
now, it's
Yeah.
a fee. Like, if we wanted to have them do it for free, we could have that option as well.
So that fee is for amounts over the X number, 10 in your.
Right, whatever,
Right.
So
whatever.
for the 11, 12, 13, you're still getting the service of them coming out, or you would have come out anyway, right,
Yeah.
for a scheduled pickup today? Yeah. I think this is a great idea. I really do.
You had something,
Ken,
Ken?
yeah, you want to say something?
I just want to say, depending on how you run the program, if you're eliminating the bulk, I would say your first year, when you can estimate savings, you can't touch the disposal costs because you don't know how much we're gonna get of what items. So that you wouldn't touch. What you would be able to touch is the collection amount, and if I remember correctly, it was $40,000 or $45,000.
No, it was 50 last year.
50, yeah.
Yeah, just for one bulk pickup.
For one, and so that's 100,000.
So that's what you can plan on roughly as a savings, and I don't know if I take it right to the limit of the 50,000,
Right.
40,000, leave you a little leeway. If
Listen.
overtime has to happen on Saturdays to cover that, but
Mhm.
the disposal wise, if you're gonna run this plus the other, it's gonna cost you more money. Just know
Yeah.
that.
And-
So,
and-
it's all, you know,
Yeah.
and I know the touchy subject about the bulk, that we went down to one, and that was controversial. Now, if you're looking to do this,
But I think we're
Right.
giving the residents more of a service, and you're not feeling compelled to
Right.
that one day to getting everything done. What if you decide, you know, to get new furniture in July? You're
Right.
stuck until next April.
I haven't put anything out on, I paid for it because I wasn't gonna hold on to
Right.
new mattresses for bulk.
Right. I
So-
think that's a good option, if you could
I would have loved that.
really work that out and get back to us.
another thing you can throw out there is you get rid of the bulk, you do this 6-month program,
Yeah,
and you eliminate the fee altogether.
yeah.
Greg,
You know,
Well, I think that's what you were saying, there wouldn't be a fee, right?
What about the white goods?
If you're going.
you don't do an à la carte.
White goods for,
Make it 15 items.
charge even during bulk, the white goods with refrigerants and stuff. So you can take that without fees?
I would still ask to charge for free on disposal because it's an environmental.
Yes, that I
impact.
agree, yes.
What about
We
ovens?
need to charge,
No.
we need to pay, when we do
And
our
air
collection,
conditioners
we do
too.
it with a vendor like Fortune because they're licensed to dispose of Freon environmentally safe. So we gotta always make sure that we're using a vendor that has that ability, that license to do that, and that's what Fortune has. So they take that off of the scrap metal, but the overall tonnage when we get the check, but it does affect it to us because of the weight. So I would still charge for that, just as an environmental fee.
I'm not trying to be devil's advocate, but then you need to know what they're putting out.
Well,
Right.
They put out the refrigerant.
right, but see, that's the thing, like,
And that's a charge.
but appliance, scrap metal, in a sense, is not technically bulk. Bulk isn't, scrap metal is not classified as bulk, so it's classified as recyclable.
Then you need to come up with a flyer.
Right.
Send that out.
Right.
And, you know,
Yeah,
depending on when you started, you could put it in with the mailing of the tax bill.
I mean, we can pick it up as separate from bulk, scrap metal, but they'll have to let us know if it has Freon. And if it doesn't, we'll leave it. If we don't have them registered as paying for it in advance, we'll leave a note saying, please call Borough Hall, pay for this, and we'll come back and get it.
Yeah, I don't think there's a big deal if people tell you what to expect, you know.
I mean, the other option I had thrown out there was, just so you guys are aware, was, it was still a 6-month program, but it was, you would do the 3 garbage trucks we have, they would, each person who lives in those routes would get a twice a year pickup. So as an example, your Monday route would be picked up April and July. Tuesday would be May, August. Wednesday's route would be June and September. And we would just roam, people would put it out on a specified day in that month. If their route fell on that month, the scheduled day, we would roam that whole entire garbage route with 2 trucks. But again, there'd be a set limit on the bulk that you would put out.
I don't know, I
But
kind
both
of.
options
I like
give
the
you-
option
I like
one better,
calling
simple.
up. You call up, you need something.
Right.
You know what to expect, you know what kind of manpower you need.
Yeah, so like, it's option 2, we can limit the manpower so we can still do other jobs. Option 1, I would need 2 trucks. You know, if both are doable, in my opinion, both are doable, so. And it'll be a learning stage the first year, trying to figure this out, work out the kinks.
I like the availability for a
After the first year, we'll
longer
have
period
everything
of
worked
time.
out. and we'll be more efficient the following year, if you guys want to go this way.
There's no way I'm gonna hold something that I need to throw out.
Yeah, that's the problem with the
for
vote.
4 months.
You gotta well hang on to it.
I really love this, Ken, we've got 12 days. Is there really a
That's because you want to
chance?
snag that 50,000.
Honestly, tell her, every penny is going to count this year, it really will.
Councilman, to touch on Ken's point, I would, that 50,000 did come out of our tipping fee budget. If we say that they're just in case, we don't know what these items are gonna do weight-wise, because it's all weight on the item when we dispose of it. We leave it in there just to see, work out the kinks this year. And then if there's something left over and someone else's budget, police, fire, their budget's running red, and we can move it or whatever, and Ken knows those rules better than I do, but move it then. If we move it now and we run short, it might be an
I'd be
issue.
happy to see it go to surplus next year if it happened as well,
Yeah.
right? That's an option, Ken, so maybe we go the route you're saying, keep it on for the year, but try it out later this year. Do we need a resolution for something like this, or is this just DPW operating?
No, I would assume unless there's some code provision or some, something official, but absent that, it would just be an operational decision.
Well done.
I've been lobbying that for 2 years.
You may want to look at the ordinance on the books now, or what's allowed.
To be thrown out for vote.
Because there is
You
no
might-
ordinance.
You might want to tweak that.
Yeah,
so
let's
you
take a
use
look at that.
And, so you use the cable meetings to get that taken care of, you roll it out.
Construction equipment.
Right, even if the first year only starts in June, so you got June, July, August, September, and October.
We might be able to start it in May.
If you roll it out, and if you roll that gives me the whole month of April to work out the logistics.
Right.
And you guys can work on the ordinances.
Can you work on that, like a real firm plan and then
Yeah.
get back to us so we could get moving on it?
I can probably have something preliminarily set up before our next council meeting.
Good.
Great.
Yeah, I'm with the councilwoman on this one. I see this as a net gain for the residents on what they can throw.
Yeah, I like
I've been talking about it for
Flexibility.
years. Union's been doing it for years. I've been saying it. Why don't we do that? And I don't know, somehow wasn't, that people have been objecting for it for some
I mean,
reason.
it just gives you more
Instead of paying a
options.
massive,
Exactly.
like you said, a
Yeah.
whole lot of junk, plus you can't
Yeah.
abuse it as much as.
You have a chair you want to get rid
Contractors can
of,
dump all the
you
stuff.
can get rid of it
They're
instead
not
of
gonna be able to do it
waiting.
if you're only a couple pieces a month, then it could be too much trouble for anyone
Okay.
to abuse it.
And
So-
spreading it out over these course of the months,
Yeah.
course of the months and 6 months will also help, in my opinion, and my dream is to slow down the illegal dumping we see throughout the town.
Yes.
Well, I said too, yeah, I'm not hanging on this for 6 months, I'm gonna end up being dumped, but that's the problem. So we want people, and they probably will comply. I gotta hang on to it for a week or to the end of the month, they're more likely not gonna, they'll take a chance,
So it's up
We'll
to
hang
you
on
to
to
get
it.
back to us.
Yeah, no, I
All
think
right,
that's
and we
good,
can,
and saves money, it's a win-win.
can you take a look at our ordinance, Dustin?
And then I can work with.
Work with
Greg,
to see
yep,
what
perfect.
should come off or what should go on. and
Good.
Get feedback, and then we can have that for the next council meeting.
Okay.
introduction.
So like ovens, regular white goods that we were currently charging, we don't have to do that anymore?
No.
Just refrigerants, you're thinking?
Refrigerants, anything with refrigerants, so anything with refrigerants is air conditioners,
Yeah.
freezers, refrigerators, dehumidifiers. Those are the items commonly used with refrigerant. That's the only thing I would still charge the $25, $50, whatever you guys want to charge. Everything else, scrap metal, if I see it's gonna be a free pickup, just like the bulk, but we would source separate at the curb, put it in the back of a separate truck, so we put it in the dumpster. Anything recycled, we see.
Yeah, I like that we get the money for the recycling
Yeah.
instead of.
I just don't, one thing we just, I'm gonna say it out loud here, so it's on record, I don't want residents putting out motor oil or anything like that, you take that
I
free
think we have to be
5 days a
really
week.
clear
Yeah.
that, and
It's
it's not acceptable.
no liquid paint cans,
Yep.
like, they have to be dried out. If residents wanna try out a paint can, get the clay kitty litter.
Mm-hmm.
Not the granules, the thick, the larger chunks that's made out of clay. Throw that in there, it'll dry it out like in a couple of hours.
And Home Depot sells something, I
They-
bought
they
it
do
before,
sell
and you
a
pour
few
it in,
products, yeah.
and you leave it open, and it dries it out.
Greg, is that just for water-based?
Yes.
Because they treat them differently, right?
Yeah, oil-based has to go to the county household hazardous waste days that are advertised. I believe there's 5 pickups a year. And they're already advertised on the website. They have it on the website by February, I think, for the whole year.
You can't dry out?
On the recycling website.
There's a water-based you can dry out, but not oil-based.
Oil-based, I don't know their method because it goes through Union County at their household hazardous waste collections. You'd have to call them to find out how to prepare it, but I believe they take it wet because it's oil-based.
So the water, you gotta dry it out and then bring it to the county?
Yeah, or put it in your bowl and we'll pick it up.
Our bowl, okay.
Actually, I talked with Broadway, they said they'll take it in the regular trash, as long as it's dried out.
Okay.
I think you can throw it out if it's dry, right?
Yeah, you can throw it in the regular trash, that's the other
It's
thing too,
dry.
like, Broadway incinerator, when they look at household trash, it's trash generated by the household. So, small items, basically, I tell everybody, if you can fit in a 13-gallon garbage bag, throw it out. As long as it's not hazardous.
Have you ever seen Dexter?
No. But I know where you're going with that. I know the premise of the show, so I know where you're going with that. But as long as it's not hazardous, because that would be, then you can use it in the regular garbage pickups.
I get a full agreement.
So no firearms.
Okay,
All right?
all right. Thank you.
Yeah, work on that. That'd be
Thank
great.
you.
All right, anything else?
No.
Good, like,
Can I
there's
just say
something
something
else?
as a resident quickly about this?
I don't think you can, no. I'm sorry, Paul.
I didn't see all after. There's something you might not be aware of.
I know, but I'm sorry. but
That's
you-
fine.
Does anyone else?
I was just going to say today, March 19th, St. Joseph's, and I just want to shout out all the Josephs.
All the Josephs.
Josephines also, I was told. Happy St. Joseph. I hope you woke up to a Svingi or a Zeppelin, because I
Where's
did.
the pastry?
I know, you should have brought pastry for us,
Also tomorrow, 5:01 a.m. is spring, so welcome spring.
You're ending every one of our meetings.
All right, excellent. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Councilwoman Giordano Pacino, seconded by Councilman Weil. There you go, Paula. Talk to Greg.